we preserve land. That's really what I'm all about.
There are a lot of new people who are not aware of the work that it does, not only in conservation, but also in outreach.
Ever get those, they're called baby carrots?
And things for children.
Yeah. They're really big carrots that they cut down.
And to get people moving and walking trails.
Crystal Springs Farms, I mean, what a wonderful resource that is. I mean, it's alive on Saturday morning, it's alive on a Tuesday morning if you're driving down, the people are in those fields working.
I really care about community vitality, and I'm convinced that the Land Trust is one of the important things that makes Brunswick, and Topsham I would say too, such a vital place to live.
I voted for the winner.
The idea that we can put into conservation and we can protect some very important lands that will stay that way for as long as we can imagine. That's really a pretty impressive kind of thing. There's not many things in our life that have that kind of perspective.
From a federal standpoint, you don't get undeveloped shorelines like this south of where we are. The shoreline's fragmented due to residential construction, due to seawall construction, due to many docks, piers, wharves. But we have the opportunity to preserve not only the bay and coastal areas for today, but as sea level rises, we're able to maintain habitat conditions that will allow marshes to migrate, for mudflats to still be accessible even 50 to 100 years from now.
Maintaining the integrity of the coast on Middle Bay Cove, which is a clamming flat that is an important economic resource for the community. Helping to protect that resource through conservation is, I think, a way that we are helping to the larger community.
In the 90s, when we first started the project, the idea that the farm could actually be conserved was just a gleam in our eye, and we were able to make it happen. And one of the interesting things about this farm is that it was so central to agriculture back in the early part of this century. It was not only a place where it had active dairy farming and agriculture on its own, but it acted like a processing plant for many of the small dairy farms that were in the area.
I can't really say enough about how vital the conservation of this farm has been to this community.
Japanese beetles have not found the zinnias yet.
There are so few places left in the country that have real working agricultural spaces and recreational spaces right within their town limits. I mean, we're a mile and a half from downtown Brunswick here, and people really treasure that.
What might well have become a housing development, and then later another housing development on the other side of Pleasant Hill Road, is now a thriving, varied product farm.
Okay, walk up, walk up, walk up. Eat well, back, away.
That includes a community-supported agriculture and community plots, and lots of programming, and it seems to me that that is the single most important contribution that the Land Trust makes.
Some 13 years ago, we decided that one of the ways that we could help local farmers was, in fact, to create a farmers market.
There was an egg left.
It's been fun to see it grow to one of the largest in the state, and to provide an outlet where small businesses, small farms can actually begin to make an economic impact, not only on their business, but on our community.
Okay, then I've really got everything. Yes. Thank you both so much. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend.
It's a challenge. Back to our childhood. Got reasons for
This is
what
such
we
a
do.
beautiful path. I love this part.
I love the access to the forest, particularly because it's part of my life, and I've missed it. And now to find it again, the things coming up each spring, oh, what a gift. I can walk, or I can cross country, or I can put on my snowshoes and go right out my garage door, and I see lots of people doing that, young and old.
We have a resident internal newsletter that they write themselves, and it's not unusual that there's an article in that newsletter talking about, you know, the jack-in-the-pulpits or the lady slippers or the birds or things that they have seen or experienced on the trail.
The lady slippers are especially a treat because they disappear almost instantly.
What impresses me is their effort to try to preserve some of the remaining open space and make it available for the public to be able to visit and see.
Yeah, okay, so many of you have played this before, bat and moth. What do bats use to detect their prey? Paige? Hearing, okay, and the special name for that is what, Hayden?
Echolocation.
You got it.
The Land Trust works with the Catance River Education Alliance and other partners to ensure that our youth and older generations can connect in a meaningful way to the incredible natural resources that we have in our area.
The number one reason why people get involved in land conservation is because they had a particular individual interest in the outdoors when they were younger. This carries on.
Turtle man. Nice. Turtles. Oh, three.
That is 3 painted turtles.
There's a girl in there. What do you use for bait in the trap?
Sardines.
You know, I think to really truly have a sense of community, a sense of self, a sense of place, children need to be outside and be connected to the larger world. On a number of levels, that's important. It's important physically, it's important mentally, and some would argue it's important spiritually.
The ability that the Land Trust has given me as a parent to connect my kids and the next generation to nature and natural resources and why it's important to them and our whole community and the world is invaluable. It's invaluable to me, and I think it's invaluable to the community that kids are able to have that opportunity here in Brunswick-Topsham.
As you move further down the Catance below head of tide, you get into tidal marsh areas, freshwater tidal marsh areas, with species that are globally rare. Not only rare in Maine, but occur very few other places in the world. And we have the opportunity to protect those by doing waterfront projects along the Catance River.
Fishing is always good. I didn't catch any fish, so it was a good fishing trip. It wasn't a great fishing trip.
I think that the Land Trust gives the town a unique opportunity to partner with a private nonprofit that's advantageous to both parties, that it allows us to create open spaces and access to with easements or with the purchase such as we did with the Head of Tide Park. We're in an economic way of where we're looking not to spend tax dollars on purchasing property, and because of the Land Trust, because of the grants we were able to write, because of the collaboration with a number of different nonprofit groups in the area, essentially the Land Trust and CREA, we were able to make this opportunity happen.
We have been working this summer with the National Guard, and they've been at the park working to build amenities.
It's really pretty easy for me to think about what's exciting about BTLT. I came to understand and know about BTLT through the Bradley Pond Preserve, where I would cross-country ski and go for walks with my kids.
In terms of trail work, we're beginning to take on a more comprehensive, professional approach to the design, management, and construction of trails. All in the public service, of course. I'm working with my neighbors, with friends from all the different towns locally. The Land Trust volunteers are they're so much fun. So it's a combination of fun and sport. There's a design and construction, craft aspect of trail work, which is just fascinating. You can't do conservation without caring about people, and when we're doing trail work, and I think it's true for all the other committees of the Trust, we really put people first.
A group of students at Bowdoin were very passionate about starting a garden back in 2004. And it was actually the students that cultivated the relationship between the college and the Land Trust. They started the garden with a $800 grant, and dining service became involved because of the need to oversee the garden and to provide some continuity as students leave the college. The students are primarily here to learn, and as a dietitian, I can't help but think that having really good, local, healthy fruits and vegetables available to the students is going to help them to have a more nutritious diet and have the energy that they need to put toward their academic and social and athletic endeavors.
Everybody, thank you very much for coming this afternoon and for celebrating this great event with us.
So you've got your watermelons there. Yep, yeah, I have yours planted right there too. I hope something comes to it.
When you have that much rain in such a short period of time, it leaches the nutrients right out of the soil.
That's enough of pictures.
I was approached by Fred Korber about a year ago when they were thinking about doing the Tom Settlemyre Community Garden. Fred asked me if Mid-Coast Hunger would like a section of this garden dedicated to them so we could grow vegetables for our clients. So obviously we jumped at that opportunity. And behind me is what you see, the results of that partnership. So many times nonprofits don't talk to each other. And this is an instance where Brunswick-Topsham Land Trust and Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention have forged an incredibly strong, mutually rewarding partnership. So we are eminently grateful to Brunswick-Topsham Land Trust for letting us do this.
It's wonderful that we have 30 properties under protection now, and I've just been so impressed by the strategic conservation planning that shows us how rich an opportunity we still have in the fact that we have at least 30 more properties to work on and many more after that. Bringing the Land Trust capacity to a level to be able to take advantage of these opportunities and to steward the land that we have in the best way possible has been an important reason for the efforts we've all been making to bring the Land Trust to a new level.
So between the trails and the food and the beauty of those lands, I think what's most exciting to me about BTLT is what it contributes back to the community.
I just am so impressed by the energy and enthusiasm that surrounds this organization and this community.
I can't imagine life now without Crystal Spring Farm without the head of Tide Park, without the 5 miles of trails out at Cadance Preserve, without CREA. It's just amazing.
So this one here has really long claws.
This is our legacy to the next generation and generations to come after that, and that's really an important thing.
They don't make any more rivers. You know, they're not going to make any more bays. So we've got to take care of what we got.
So it's for all ages, people with families, elderly people who come by. If you can just stop and smell the flowers, you'll see an awful lot.